So, this channel is estimated to earn up to $20,000 per month simply by narrating horror stories. Wow. Sounds unreal, right? But it's real. No actors, no fancy equipment, no face on camera. Just scary stories, eerie visuals, and the power of YouTube. Maybe a couple of ghosts as well. Channels like Mr. Nightmare and Lazy Masquerade are making six figures yearly from content that is essentially bedtime stories for adults, but with a terrifying twist. According to Social Blade, these channels average anywhere between 5 to 10 million views per month, and with CPMs in the horror niche at around $4 to $6, that can translate to tens of thousands of dollars in potential monthly revenue, depending on views and monetization methods. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to do it. So let's start with how you come up with the ideas. The horror works because fear is universal. Everyone has felt it: alone at night, a creak in the hallway, a story you can't get out of your head. Platforms like Reddit's Let's Not Meet or r/paranormal have hundreds of thousands of real stories submitted by users. And on TikTok, hashtags like #horror_stories and scary talk have together crossed more than 20 billion views. That demand spills over into YouTube, where people crave long, narrated versions of these tales. Imagine typing into ChatGPT, "Give me 10 original horror story concepts that could go viral on YouTube." Instantly, you'll get suggestions like 10 terrifying hospital night shift stories, creepiest Reddit confessions, or the shadow people phenomenon explained. Each of these is binge-worthy, and remember, you don't need to show your face, no matter how scary it is. Fear delivered through voice and visuals does the job, but once you have ideas, how do you make sure people don't click away? That's where scripting comes in. Scripting is a secret weapon of horror channels. A boring story can kill the mood, but the right pacing keeps viewers locked in until the end. The average YouTube retention rate is about 50%, but successful horror channels often hold 70% or more. Why? Because stories naturally carry cliffhangers. If someone says, "I heard a knock on the window, but I live on the 10th floor," you have to stay to hear what happens next. That's the trick. Short, suspenseful sentences, sprinkled with statistics or real-world references. For example, imagine narrating, "According to FBI data, over 2,500 people go missing in forests every year in the US alone. Some are never found." Suddenly, your fictional story has a layer of truth. I'd open ChatGPT and type, "Rewrite this Reddit story in a suspenseful cinematic tone for a YouTube script, adding a cliffhanger every 60 seconds. Within minutes, I get a script that feels polished and terrifying. But who's going to narrate it? Not me. I don't have that deep horror voice. That's why we use AI, and that's where DubDub comes in. Now, watch this. I open dubdub.com, I sign up, and I click Create New. I paste my horror script directly into the editor. Next, I head over to the voice options. DubDub has a massive library of natural-sounding voices: male, female, deep, calm, and even eerie. Here's where DubDub really stands out. The voices are not robotic. They breathe, they pause naturally, they sound human. Most text-to-speech tools sound fake, but DubDub has solved this.
Once upon a time in a small village.
Once upon a time in a small village. Once upon a time in a small village.
Once I filter the voiceover, I also select Ultra Quality for the best performance. Then I try out several different voice performances, compare them, and pick the one that fits the workflow best. And if I want, I can tweak pitch, speed, and pauses. On the left side, there's a panel with different categories like tech gadgets, animation, e-commerce, and more. When it comes to the scary content niche, I can select the panel, filter Ultra Quality again, and instantly get the most fitting voice style for that genre. Finally, I showcase the overall outcome so the demo feels complete and polished. And here's something even better. DubDub also generates avatars. If you want a faceless silhouette narrator or a mysterious character in the shadows, you can create it instantly. This is what makes DubDub such a game changer. The global text-to-speech market is projected to hit $7.6 billion by 2030, and horror creators are already using DubDub to stay ahead of the curve. Let me walk you through the steps so you can see how simple it is. Step 1, sign up on dubdub.com and choose either the free or a paid plan. Step 2, paste your script into the editor. Step 3, select your avatar, maybe a dark, mysterious figure or a faceless narrator. Step 4, choose your AI voice, either a deep cinematic male or an eerie female. Step 5, click preview and make any small tweaks that you want. Step 6, generate your final video and download it. That's it. In less than 10 minutes, I have a professional horror narration that feels like something out of a Netflix documentary. No microphone, no soundproofing, no staying up late trying to record the perfect voice take. Just me, my script, and DubDub. But of course, narration alone isn't enough. The real magic comes when we add cinematic editing. I drag my dub narration into CapCut, and this is where the magic really begins. The first thing I do is generate captions, because captions are not optional, they're a must. I click on text, auto captions. Within seconds, the entire narration is transcribed on screen. Then I scroll through the caption templates. There are clean white ones, bold yellow ones, cinematic bar styles, but for horror, I choose bold, blood red glowing text against a pure black backdrop. It feels eerie, unsettling, exactly what you want when you're telling a ghost story. Captions matter because over 85% of viewers sometimes watch videos muted, and multiple studies have shown that captions can boost retention by 15% or more. Once the captions are in place, I move on to audio, but I don't use CapCut's default library here. Instead, I return to DubDub's audio section, where I have access to AI-generated horror tracks. These aren't generic background sounds, these are carefully designed soundscapes. I pick a deep ambient drone that creates tension, layered with a faint, eerie piano that plays like something from an old haunted mansion. And here's my hack. I add subtle sound effects from DubDub's collection. When my script says, "The door slowly opened," I drop in a long wooden creak. When the narration whispers, "A shadow called my name," I add an almost imperceptible whisper in the background. Thunder rumbles during a reveal. A gust of wind whooshes as the transition. These tiny details may seem small, but they can raise engagement by almost 20%. Then I layer the visuals. I go to Pixels and Pixabay for free B-roll footage. Haunted houses, fog-filled forests, flickering streetlights, a hand slowly dragging across a window. Every 7 to 10 seconds I swap clips because research shows viewers drop-off reduces by nearly 40% when visuals change frequently. Now it's time to preview. I hit play and I watch it back exactly as my audience will. Captions glow in red, eerie piano swells in the background, creaks and whispers punctuate the narration. B-roll flashes at perfect intervals. For the first time, I'm not watching an edit. I'm watching what feels like a mini Netflix horror documentary. I get chills, even though I already know the script, and that's when I know it's working. Finally, I export. I click Export, 1080p, HD, and within minutes, I've finished my first video. It's polished, it's terrifying, it's ready for YouTube. Let's hit play on the exported file.
I never thought I'd tell this story, but now that I'm older, I can't ignore the nagging feeling that something strange happened in that house. Something that still haunts me. It was the summer I turned 14. My family had just moved into a house on a quiet street. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, where the biggest excitement is the occasional lawnmower hum in the distance.
Look at that. Captions crawling on the screen, thunder rumbling in the background, abandoned houses flickering in and out. It's awesome. I just built a professional horror video with nothing but a script, DubDub, some free B-roll, and CapCut. Spielberg who? But now comes the big question. Okay, the video looks amazing. It gives chills. It's YouTube ready, but how do we actually turn this into real money? That's what we're going to talk about next. Monetization is the most exciting part. AdSense in the horror niche is strong. A channel with 3 million monthly views might earn around $6,000 to $9,000 from ads, depending on CPMs and audience factors. But smart creators don't stop there. Sponsorships from VPN companies, horror game developers, or audiobook platforms can add up to another $5,000 to $10,000 per month. Affiliates like selling Amazon horror books or scary merchandise bring commissions. And then comes the real multiplier. Ebooks. Gumroad reports that ebooks are their number one selling digital product. Imagine using ChatGPT to generate 10 original horror short stories, each 2,000 words. You polish them, design a spooky cover in Canva, and package it as 10 haunted tales to keep you awake at night. Upload it to Gumroad, set the price. Now at the end of each video, you say, "If you enjoyed these stories, grab my exclusive horror ebook." The link is in the description. Even if 500 fans were to buy, that could generate close to $4,000 in additional revenue. Imagine if even a small group of loyal fans supported your work directly. That's a meaningful boost in income. When you combine that with what you already earn from ads, affiliate programs, and sponsorships, your monthly revenue can grow significantly. With multiple income streams like ads, affiliates, sponsorships, and digital products, some creators in this niche report earning well over $20,000 per month. So, let's wrap it up. We started by seeing how horror is one of the fastest growing niches on YouTube, with some channels reportedly earning up to $20,000 per month. We explored how to ideate stories from Reddit and ChatGPT, how to script them for suspense and binge-worthy engagement, how to generate chilling AI voices and avatars with DubDub, how to edit them like a mini horror film in CapCut, and finally, how to double your income with Gumroad's Scary Story ebooks. And before I end, a quick thank you to our sponsor, DubDub.com. Honestly, they make this entire process possible. Without them, you'd need expensive mics, studio time, and voice actors. With them, you just paste your script, pick a voice, and generate. The link is in the description. Check it out today, and start creating your own faceless horror empire. Because the real question is, will you just keep watching scary stories at night, or will you be the one creating them and turning your passion into a serious income stream?